Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the M&K Productions Podcast. I'm your host, Max, and we're here as usual with my co-host, with the most, Kristen, aka Miss Flamingo. Kristen, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How's your Sunday going, Mr. Mac?
It's going good, pretty quiet, ready to get another good episode in today. We are on the countdown to the release of the third entry into the Tron series. Tron Ares comes out October 10th, time of recording. So we figured we'd go back in time to the last Tron movie that released 15 years ago, that being Tron Legacy. Oh my goodness, this is
Oh
a
my
lot of time.
goodness, is right.
I'm excited. Tron is near and dear to my heart, and we got a
Mm-hmm.
good episode in store for you today. And we're really excited to talk about some Tron and some film news.
Yes, just a heads up, guys. I know last episode I said we were going to have a guest for this episode, but unfortunately the guest fell through. Stuff happens, life gets in the way, but that's okay. We are here to bring you a new episode talking about Tron. But I do want to say something, Mac. I did see a movie that we've both been talking about.
Yeah, you saw the Smashing Machine. How was that?
It was good. It was very, very good. But here's the thing, real quick. We had, the wrestling, boxing, USC, films from like A24. I'm gonna say it right now, and all the haters can put all the chats in the comments, but I think Iron Claw is a better film than The Smashing Machine.
Well, I mean, one is wrestling, this one's MMA, so I think that
Yeah, yeah, I know, but I know there's different techniques and stuff like that where it goes into it and different rules and stuff like that, but I think I tend to group those movies like in the same mesh together with my mind. So I'm thinking, A24 is pushing this Oscar bait for Dwayne Johnson, and there's no doubt he could be nominated for an Oscar. I'm just disappointed that like we could have had a great campaign with the Iron Claw because that movie was like they're both very emotional movies. I enjoyed both movies, but I think if I'm gonna pick one over the other, it's definitely the Iron Claw. So, but I did enjoy Smashing Machine, and I cannot wait to hear your thoughts. So, but I thought it was a good movie, and I hope you get to see it soon because I would love to talk about this movie with you because I know you're into Mark Kerr, correct? Because I know you've seen the documentary.
yeah, Smarker is the one of the OGs in the MMA community, and I've seen the documentary because I think it was on HBO back in the day, and I actually rewatched it on I think it was online. It had it somewhere, and I watched it. And when I saw they were doing this type of movie, I was like, okay, that's interesting to have The Rock do this. So let's see what happens.
And I
And
was amazed to know that Mark Kerr is still alive. I had no idea who this man was. And
yeah,
he's still alive. And he's only 56. I was like,
mm,
dang, you young still.
yeah,
So, yeah, but I'm happy to see, his life be told into a story. So I just like I said, I hope we can talk about this movie on the podcast soon because I love it when we talk about like a topic that I'm not too familiar with, which makes me really excited to hear your like learn more about Tron from you, because like I'm a fan, like I just became a fan of this movie like 2 days ago, maybe a couple days ago, because I was like, I never really appreciated it. And now I can sit here with somebody who's a fan and maybe make me grow to love it even more. So hope we get to watch Smashing Machine, and I'm really excited to talk about Tron today. So sorry for that long intro, yeah, y'all. I just was so excited to talk about this kind of stuff because I know this is like Max Forte,
yeah. So
you
maybe that's
know?
a future episode. We'll do the Smashing Machine. We got a lot of stuff coming out. Uh,
Yay.
but let us move into some news.
Let's get right into the
This is CNN, a network of Turner Broadcasting System.
All right, so the news recently, I'll start with my news story. Recently, we've had a new entry into the Conjuring series. That's the Conjuring 4 or the Last Rites. Actually, yeah, Conjuring 5, actually. Is it 4 or 5?
news. 4.
4. Okay. So we got Conjuring the Last Rite. The Last Rites is out right now.
Correct.
And according to the box office numbers, it is now third at the horror movies ever to pass huge box office. So hold up. It's expected to end its fifth weekend in theaters with a cumulative global box office of $458.2 million. That's $290 million internationally and $167.8 million domestically.
Let's hear for those claps in the chat, y'all, because you know what? I think we're finally seeing a really strong year for Warner Brothers because with the success of, The Conjuring, we've had Sinners, now we got one battle after another, and Weapons. And regardless of what you think of how well Superman did at the box office, I think Warner Brothers is having a fantastic year, like personally speaking, like and based on numbers wise. Mac, what do you think?
I think Warner Brothers needed this, especially after the just shit show that it was the last few years.
Yeah.
But I think that this is good for them to get this type of win. I still think no matter what happened with Superman, that it was a film that still did well critically and even financially didn't do well. It's going to make its money back with the streaming.
Mm-hmm. Because it
Uh,
just dropped on HBO Max.
But it's just it is pretty cool to see that they're getting something because yeah, they were in a little bind, especially with everything being canceled. But now we're getting these hits this year, and next year is going to be more hits because Coyote versus Acme has a chance to do well. So we'll see if they get a chance to work something out. But it's good that they're doing well this year because they had Final Destination, they had Sinners, they've had Superman, they had the Peacemakers doing well on the streaming side. So I think it is just good all around.
Yeah, it's great. So, alrighty, should I move on to my piece of news?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Would you like to pick the topic, Mac? We could talk about Adam Driver, or we could talk about Zachary Levi.
Let's talk about Zachary Levi.
Okay, here we go. I might need some help on this story, so be prepared, y'all. All right, Zachary Levi and Josh Duhamel thriller Not Without Hope lands a December release. This is an exclusive from the Hollywood Reporter. So I wasn't aware about this film until like recently. This article was just published. Okay, a survival thriller starring Zachary Levi and Josh Duhamel is heading to theaters later this year. Inaugural Entertainment has acquired domestic distribution rights to director Joel Carnahan's Not Without Hope and is set to release the film theatrically on December 12th. The Hollywood Reporter has exclusively learned that Joe Beth Williams, Quentin Blair, Terrence Terrell, and Marshall Cook and Florin Lima round out the cast for this feature that premieres at the Austin Film Festival on October 25th. Not Without Hope centers on the real life story of the tragic 2009 fishing trip for four friends who played football at the University of South Florida and the NFL players. Marquise Cooper and Corey Smith. I'm not aware of those NFL players. Are you aware of them? Those
No.
two? The group gets stranded at sea off the coast of Florida when their boats capsize, leading Coast Guard Captain Timothy Close, who's played by Duhamel, to oversee the efforts to bring them home as the storm looms. I thought it's an interesting plot. Oh, there's a trailer for it. I'll have to watch it later. But Mac,
I've
is
seen
this?
I know this true story because I did look it up myself too.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting, and when I saw the movie, I just kind of just shrugged my shoulders, like, oh, this will be a nice streaming movie, unless it's going to be uh, sh- like a theatrical limited release type
I
movie.
could see, yeah. It's interesting to see where Zachary Levi and Josh Duhamel are kind of taking their careers at this point. I'm not surprised at this point that they're both have like come together on a film because I know they got their stuff going on in Hollywood right now. But I'm happy to see that the two of them are going to work together. I am curious to see how the film is going to turn out. But I was curious about the story. Had no idea the story even existed, but I was curious because I know you know your sports as well. I wasn't aware of these NFL players either, so maybe it'll turn out to be a good release. But Mac, speaking of releases,
Doubt it.
you tip I just played nice. I don't know if it's gonna be good. We'll find out when the movie premieres on October 25th at a Austin Film Festival. But Mac, you sent me something that I know you're very excited about. It's The Secret to Greenland. Am I right? You shared me the trailer a few days ago.
The sequel, not the
The
secret.
sequel. Oh,
The sequel. I
whoops.
sent Kristen the sequel trailer for Greenland, and if you this is a little history on this podcast. We actually that was the first screeners that we got together, like for in
Yeah.
2020. I got to watch it early, and it was a very solid disaster film. I love Gerard Butler's career trajectory now. He's making films that are like low-key sleeper hits, like Den of Thieves and Greenland and Geostorm and Plane was a pretty solid film, and Greenland was probably the most like complete version of an asteroid movie. That's Apocalypse is pretty cool. And then they said we're making a sequel. It's going to take place the after effects, kind of like what 2012 tried to do with the TV series they had with the the settlements in Africa, but this actually looks better. It looks like they have a bit more money to work with, and I'm excited for it. It comes out January of next year, and it looks pretty solid.
I know. I could feel your excitement through my phone as soon as you sent me the trailer. I was like, okay, this is one January release that I know I'm gonna have to watch for the podcast. And I'm fine with that. You know me, Mac. I'll watch anything for you. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. But do you want to talk about box office before we talk about our final news story?
We can save the box office to last. What's your next news story?
Okay, so in honor, I was gonna do the Dwayne Johnson story, but then I was like, maybe we could do the Adam Driver since Ron Howard has recently released a film. So we'll do this one. All right, this is coming to you all from Deadline. Adam Driver and Anne Hathaway set to star in military drama Alone at Dawn from Ron Howard and Amazon Prime MGM Studios. Ron Howard is no stranger to taking real life stories and adapting them into incredible cinematic experience. I'm going to put incredible lightly because he's been a hit or miss with, you know, telling real life stories. He looks to have found the next powerful story to tell. Sources tell Deadline that Howard has come to direct the Amazon MGM Studios drama Alone at Dawn, with Adam Driver and Anne Hathaway set to star. Amazon will release the film in theaters. It falls under Amazon's MGM recently renewed a first look deal with Brian Grazer and Howard's Imagine Entertainment. So I'm going to move on from the article a little bit. The film is based on the book of the same name by Dylan Schilling and Laurie Chapman Longfritz, and is inspired by an incredible true story. Years later, Air Force Combat Controller John Chapman fought to the death to save his fellow soldiers. An intelligence officer strives to prove his valor, leading an investigation that ultimately would secure him the Medal of Honor. Schilling is a military consultant on the movie, and like Chapman, also was a combat control technician. Chapman and Longfritz is Chapman's sister. So there's a lot of more details in the article. This is, like I said, this came from Deadline. This is published by Justin Kroll. So I thought this was an interesting thing because I wanted to bring up Ron Howard because I did see Ron Howard's movie Eden a little over, maybe more than a month ago, and it was probably one of the worst Ron Howard movies I've ever seen. Were you aware of Eden, Mac?
No.
No, this is like another true story Ron Howard brought to the screen with Sydney Sweeney and Jude Law and Vanessa Kirby. And oh my God, I did not like it one bit. And hopefully this is a better Ron Howard film. I don't know. Do you remember if Adam Driver and Ron Howard have ever worked together? I don't think so.
No, I don't know. Hold on, let me see real quick. Ron Howard and Adam Driver. Nope, that's Amy Adams.
Yeah. So, and then Anne Hathaway is working with him this time. So, which is a nice little like.
Nope, this is the first time they're working together.
I'm surprised this is their first time because I feel like Adam Driver has worked with so many accomplished and like talented auteurs and directors. I'm just surprised they haven't worked together. So it's nice to see this will be their first project together. Even Anne Hathaway, I don't think this is like the first film they well, excuse me, I should say this is like the first film they're working on together. So I'm hoping this turns out to be good. And I also want to acknowledge Amazon will be releasing, Amazon MGM will be releasing After the Hunt, which is the new Luca Guadagnino film that's going to star Andrew Garfield and Julia Roberts. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go, but I'm happy to see that Amazon MGM are continuing to, make movies together. But we'll see how that turns out.
No, that's good. But anyway, let's move on to our topic, and that's gonna be Tron Legacy. All right, so since we are on the release date for Tron Ares, let's go back 15 years to the last entry in the Tron series, Tron Legacy, which came out in 2010 and directed for you kids out there by Joseph Krasinski. If that name sounds
Yes.
familiar, that's because he would later go on to do Top Gun Maverick and F1, you crazy kids.
You crazy kids. I mean, Joseph is a talented director, but it blew my mind knowing that this was like the film that would warm him up and get him ready for Top Gun Maverick and
Also, yeah,
F1.
if you watch Tron Legacy, you'll know, like, you'll have vibes of like, oh, that's where he learned to shoot that type of film like that. Because this is very like high performance, high octane action with great visuals. And the film stars Jeff Bridges, Garrett Hedlund, Olivia Wilde, Bruce Boxmeer, and Michael Sheen. And the plot revolves around Flynn, or I'm sorry, Jeff Bridges'
No.
characters. Oh my lord. Hold up. Let me go back to the first Tron. The first Tron came out in 1982, and it was
Hmm.
revolutionary for its visuals and computer effects. And like this is during like the Star Wars age. So
Hmm.
the legacy takes place years after it, and Jeff Bridges' son, Sam Flynn, um, responds to a message from his long lost father and is transformed into a virtual reality called the Grid, where Sam, his father, and the algorithm Cora, played with Olivia Wilde, must stop the malevolent program Clue from invading the real world. And this movie is very slept on. It's very it was divisive at the time,
Yeah.
but it's really become like a definitive, like, underappreciated gem 15 years later. And I remember the big thing about this film was that the soundtrack was done by Daft Punk.
Yeah, and they were a cameo in a movie too. I saw that and I was like, "Hey, there's Daft
Yeah,
Punk."
there's a scene where they are in the club and they're pretty much playing music when the cops come up. It's pretty cool. And so Tron.
Sorry, that was my bad Daft Punk. I was trying to put in beats for that if you heard it.
Oh my gosh, which they did the soundtrack, and that's probably helps the film's legacy a bit, especially after they're done, they split up, and like I have the CD on vinyl and CD, and it's amazing. It's such a good soundtrack, a lot of techno synth waves and everything like that, and I think this surpasses the first one, but there are still some problems with it, but I still think that this is a very good film.
It is a very good film, and especially that knowing that this was released in like 2010, it just shows that like how the technology is hold up, 15 years later because it looks amazing. Because I watched this in like 4K on like Disney Plus, and I was like, this looks way better than watching it like on TV. Because I did watch this like a long, 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 long time ago. Did not remember much of it, and was like, all right, what am I missing here? Like I didn't get it. Like I didn't understand the hype that much. I get the ride that was in Disney. I know there was a cult following, but I was like, I could never get into the vibe or admire it. I just thought, all right, it was like goofy sci-fi, but no, this was like a fun sci-fi movie. It has flaws, like you said. But the first one does have some flaws, but the way this looks, because Dylan and I watched this, both films. We watched Tron, the 1982 film, and we are like, oh my God, the way this looks so incredible. And then I said to Dylan, I said, this looks better. The Tron 1982 version looks better than like Dune, David Lynch's Dune from 1984, which was released like 2 years like later. And knowing the technology they had, technology Tron had, there was, difference in the way, you know, visuals and special effects and all that stuff was used to make, Tron versus,
Mm.
Doom. Sorry, I just don't mean to go off the rails a little bit, but I was just like the timing of the 80s, like early 80s films were just really interesting in the way they were exploring like technology, incorporating all that into film. So wanted to get that out there. Sorry.
Yeah, Tron Legacy, awesome. Uh,
Okay, anyways.
I like zoned out. I was like, okay. No, like I said, I think the thing with Tron Legacy that or some of its flaws is some of the writing is not good.
And that
Like,
and that's to be fair, because both films, the writing is not great, especially the way they want to conclude their stories.
mhm.
That's
It's
like a big thing. I was like, what's going on with this picture here? The way we wrap things up is written so poorly. Because I think like it's the script is okay, it's whatever, but the way it just decides to wrap up, like especially the first movie, it's
uh
terrible. And then I was like, all right, the ending in Tron Legacy didn't do anything for me. So where do you see the faults in the script writing, Mac, in Tron Legacy?
the dialogue, especially Olivia Wilde's character, which I know that was supposed to be on purpose because she's AI. It's like
She's
she's like a book. What is this thing you humans call a book? I was like, oh Jesus Christ. But some of
But
the
I thought
dialogue.
she said like she read all of them, like the books that are on the shelf that,
No, she just said like, what are these books like books in the human? It's very stilted, and I know it's supposed to be like, oh, these are computer programs, but and then some of the I feel like the ending was kind of a little bit botched. Like I think the writing just has a lot of stilted dialogue sometimes. And like I know
Mhm.
one of the criticisms was like, "Oh, Garrett Hedlund wasn't good as the lead." I thought he was solid as Sam. I just think that dialogue really messed you up, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Uh, I can agree with Olivia's dialogue not being the strongest, but the thing that was interesting that really caught my attention, which I forgot when I watched it the first time, but it was that Jeff Bridges
Yes,
plays the villain.
yes. That's
And
when they.
I was like, oh,
That's before
that
they
caught
had
me off guard.
that de-aging technology. Like before it got mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the things. It's like okay, and that's kind of crazy that he's going to be the only actor who's been in all three movies when the Aries comes out.
Yeah, because that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about. I mean, how do you feel about having Garrett not returning since he is the son? But I do get it. That chapter isn't in it is closed. But seeing Jeff return to it and not having the character of the son of, Sam,
Well,
yeah, that was his name. Yeah,
I think
return.
I think for the purpose because the first one is all about Kevin's journey because he's this programmer, this world of Tron. The second one is his son trying to go help him out, and then
Yeah.
like finding himself. I think this one's a good way to kind of wrap up his story because I don't think you need
Okay.
that. I don't think you need to have Sam in there. Like it would have been nice because it would have continued his story, and then Olivia Wilde, is in the real
I
world
mean, to
too.
be fair, maybe they'll have a cameo, but
They probably
do you
will.
think Do you think like the characters fell in love? Like this was like kind of stuff we would see in like, like an
I thought it
ex
was implied.
machina
Well,
like type of
I thought they
stuff.
implied they did fall in love. That's why she was
Or
with
like
him.
Was it Pixel Perfect? I think that was a decom. Remember that movie?
Mm.
Ravi Ullman.
I know, I never seen that movie.
All right, I gotta look that up because that's like a
But
movie where,
I thought it was implied they did fall in love with each other.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's like that reminds me of like, falling in love with a robot, I guess, you know. So I don't know how I felt about that. So I was like, if she's not really real, she's a program. But I understand, they'll make it work.
But
But
I think one of my favorite aspects of this film, like and even people will say, like even the most distractors, the visuals in this movie are fucking amazing.
that's what I was saying earlier, and that's why I brought up, both, Tron and Tron, saying how both films where the technology is just like so advanced.
Hmm.
So I love the way they look, and it makes me just excited to watch Tron Ares because of the way the film is going to look. And that could be like said for the experience for like the excitement for like Dune, knowing the technology that had.
But can I give a shout out to Michael Sheen? He has like the best character in this entire movie.
I didn't even recognize that was him.
Really?
Yeah, until like after, and then I was like, wait a second, that's Michael Sheen. Like, I know he always plays like, characters they're a little bit theatrical, in
Hmm.
a way.
But it
I
was
mean,
perfect because I like to say, "Here used to be how old as America."
I think that's also the time Michael Sheen was also in tw the Twilight movies too. So
That's
that was
right. Yeah, they just borrowed him off set. Like Michael, we need you real quick. Being this, what do you think about the colors in this movie? Because Sean is known for his warm blue, but then
yes,
we're switching to red now because it's showing Aries is like, which I do.
evil.
I want to talk about how this movie kind of sets up the third movie in a way, but I'll
Okay.
ask you the colors first.
I mean, I like the blue. Blue and technology, blue screams the color of technology for me. And I like the blue here. Is it a lot of blue? Yeah. But, I like seeing the orange. I like the color palette. It's enticing to me. So I like it now that I've watched it and like really like enjoyed it. So, I mean, I didn't get it when I was younger. I was like, why is there all this blue? But then I got, the understanding and feel for it. That was the way this world was being built. So, I mean, it looks good. What are your thoughts on it? Did you like all the blue?
I did because it kind of took the colors from the original movie and just amplified it to 2010 standards. It took like
Yeah.
the colors from 1982 and just said, we're gonna make this because like I read one of the notes to say they really wanted to make this like a Matrix S type movie, and this feels very Matrixy.
Mm-hmm.
And
It kind of does.
like you can tell like each Tron movie came out after some sort of Marvel. So like the first one came out after Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big like sci-fi technical practical effects like this. And then when Tron Legacy came out, we were in like the 3D era of like Avatar and all those movies. And now with Tron Ares comes out, we're in these times of like the Top Gun Mavericks and the F1. So that's why they're really hyping up Tron Ares to see it in IMAX. It's going to be like a cinematic experience.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I'm gonna be able to see an IMAX, but I'm kind of hoping that I can because it would be really cool. I mean, getting not getting to see one after battle another. I know that's like a totally different movie. I just know I have to go see something in IMAX again. That makes me love the theater going experience. So
I will end up
maybe
seeing
this is
this in
probably,
IMAX. I will see
I would
Tron
love
Ares.
for you to see it in
I'm
IMAX. Did you? I don't remember, but did you see Tron Legacy in theaters?
Twas only 10 years old, so I did not know what it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm sure you would have loved to see that in theaters then.
Well, it's weird that they didn't re-release it for its 15-year anniversary to hype up the new film. Like they never did that.
Maybe Disney should have put that in instead of Avatar and just waited till Avatar got like, its
Well,
December release.
the thing with Tron Legacy is that it didn't do well at the box office.
I
And then like
know.
I mentioned too with the critic score, there was actually a time where we didn't know like Tron 3 got canceled because they bought Star Wars and like we don't need this anymore, so they canceled it because they've been
Yeah.
developing the new movie since 2010. And then with this Tron
Yeah.
Legacy, they were developing this movie since 2005.
Yeah.
So it took them
I was reading that. Yeah.
so it took them 5 years to get this going. And I mean, its box office return, it made let me just see. Shoot, do it made million
409.9 million.
out of his $170 million budget, which isn't bad.
Then of course you got to take into all the other stuff that went into marketing and streaming and all that stuff. So yeah, I kind of not seeing it like its full return. So, but
You know what?
I'm happy to see it has a cult following. I'm happy people like it. It's
Do you
not
know?
a bad movie. So yeah, what's up?
Do you know what came out the same weekend of December 17th, 2010 that Tron Legacy was competing with?
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up.
I'll tell you anyway. It
All right, tell
competed with
me.
How Do You Know, the Owen Wilson movie, written and directed by James L. Brooks from The Simpsons, and Yogi Bear.
Yogi Bear.
Yes.
That came out the same weekend as Tron?
Yep.
Oh God. How do you know that? If I'm thinking that's the right movie with Reese Witherspoon, oh yeah. Yeah. James L. Brooks movie. Yeah. Yep. Oh wow. That's not a strong box office week with
Hey,
films.
look at
Look at
the
those choices.
the bright side. Tron was nominated for Best Sound Editing at the
I was just gonna
Oscars.
bring that up. I want to see what the other nominees were real quick. Best sound editing. I just pulled them all up and now they just went away.
In
Uh,
2010, the
sound
best their
sound
awards is
editing. Oh, it went to Inception. Oh, okay. I'm looking at all the nominees here. All right, we had Inception, Toy Story 3, Tron Legacy, True Grit, and Unstoppable. Okay.
Unstoppable being
Oh,
a
Unstoppable.
being an Oscar nominated film is something I didn't think about.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's either down to either Tron Legacy or Inception. I mean, Inception's gonna win by a heart. Was gonna
It's
win by
just
a
weird.
heartbeat.
Jeff Bridges was in 2 movies that year that both got nominated for Best Sound Editing.
Yeah,
It's
I
weird.
mean, I'm sure he was rooting on both teams that day. So, whatever was gonna win. So, but in the end, none of them won.
But,
So,
you would know what was beating Inception.
yeah, there was no way you were gonna be Inception. Yeah.
But I'll ask you this, Kristen, after you watched this movie and you told me that it is a very underrated gem, Tron Legacy is sitting at a 51% on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you feel that is warranted, or was
No.
that overly hated on?
I think that's overly hated on. I think it's at least deserving of like at least a 70%. Maybe is that too high? Maybe, but
No, I think that's right.
I
70, 75.
I don't think it's worthy of a 50%, around like a 51%. You know, I just feel like, rewatching it and then like, having, watched it like so many years ago and not really like getting it, but now it finally clicked. And I was like, yeah, this actually is really, really good for what it is, for all the package and the technology and that is. I mean, is Garrett the best leading actor in this role? Like this is like his first like I think major role that I've seen. It was like his first major role.
Yes.
Uh yeah, I don't think he was okay. He was fine. But uh Olivia Wilde is whatever. But it's Jeff Bridges that
There
really
really
counts
is.
here.
It actually really is.
It's really Jeff's movie. And shout out to the doggy, the little doggy that's in the movie too. I like the doggy and how he trolls everybody at the begin. The character Sam kind of just trolls everybody in the office with the video of the dog. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. And then I didn't realize it. Killian Murphy's in the beginning of the movie.
Yes, he is.
Like he's uncredited, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there with Dylan. I'm like, wait a second, that's Oppenheimer. And I'm like,
He
what
had a
is he
detour in
doing
the
here?
Tron Legacy.
It's
But
like, what are you doing here? How did
the
you get
ending,
there? And he's not even credited either. It's an
mm-mm.
uncredited role. So I just want to put that out there.
But the ending of Tron Legacy does set up Ares because the whole point of Clue in this movie was that he wanted to make an AI that goes into the real world and
Hmm.
take over the real world. And they back up the server and they leave someone in charge of the board and they go away. But then in this movie, there's an AI that comes to the real world that is looking to take it over, which is interesting because it seems like for the first time we're going to be following the bad guy in this film because I don't think there's like a definitive
Who
hero.
who is, because I didn't really like look into it that much since I'm not, wasn't really into Tron that much. I'm kind of waiting out when I see the film, but and just in case so I know when I see it myself, who is the bad guy in
It
Tron
is
Ares?
Jared Leto.
Okay.
Because I was like, did you not tell from the trailer?
No, I wasn't really paying attention to the trailer. Like I
Oh
said, I
my
wasn't like
goodness
I was
gracious!
just like,
It's
okay,
simple.
Evan P
It's Jared
I
Leto.
didn't really pay attention.
It's Jared Leto. He says red on. He's already a computer in real life. Why'd you not get that he's the
I
villain?
didn't get it. I just didn't watch. I didn't get it. I wasn't watching.
Uh,
And to be fair, I've been walking in a lot of late to movies lately because I just don't want to see the trailers. So I listen outside the theater so I don't get spoiled.
disgusting. But yes, Jared Leto is playing Ares, who is a super intelligent program created by Julian Dillinger, and he looks like he's going to be the big bad in this movie.
Dillinger, when I think of that, I just think of the villain from the first movie. That's why.
And it has a few ensemble characters: Greta Lee, Evan
Greta
Peter,
Lee.
and Evan Peters plays Julian Dinger. We got Jodie Turner Smith, and a couple other people as well too. And then, like I
I
mentioned,
think it's a really strong ensemble cast.
yeah, I think
So I'm excited.
it's gonna be definitely like I hope this. I'm like, hey, I said that Jared
Who's
Leto
the,
was.
how do you pronounce the director's name of of Ares, Tron Ares? Because I was wondering. Because
It is
I was trying to talk to about it with Dylan.
Joachim Renning or Roning.
Roning. Okay, yeah, because he's worked with Disney before.
Yes,
And one movie, if you want to see a real good movie that he's done, watch Kon-Tiki. Oh my gosh, that's a real good movie. And I love seeing that in a theater.
or watch Maleficent, Mistress of Evil.
Oof. Don't remind me of Maleficent. Oh
And
God.
he co-directed the last Pirates movie with Espen Sandberg, Dead Man
Yeah.
Tell No Tales.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm gonna give Pirates a pass. It's Maleficent, that's the bad one.
I like
So
Pirates. But
it's
yeah,
Pirates.
Tron Legacy, really good film, great soundtrack. Get that on vinyl if you have a vinyl player. That's pretty. It has a Tron disc, and
Now,
also
one thing I say, I'm gonna once you go see Tron Ares, you're gonna have to listen to both Legacy and Ares and compare and see which album,
well, I'm not
which
really.
score that you like more.
I like Nine Inch Nails, but I don't think they're gonna be Daft Punk because Daft Punk is just that legendary.
It was just so fitting for the techno style for that
And
Tron
also,
Legacy. But I don't, but then again, Trent Reznor is like one of the best. And they're also, scores. It's their score. They're score guys. They're big score heads. You know, Gone Girl. So many good scores. And,
but it,
recently challengers. So
but
I'll have to see.
if you like Tron Legacy, I recommend going on Disney Plus and watching Tron Uprising, which serves as a kind of an in-between movie or series between, I believe it's the first one in Legacy, and it takes place a little bit after Legacy, and it has Elijah Wood as the main character.
Elijah Wood is in it?
Yes, it is a
Okay.
animated show. It's really good. Like it got 2 seasons, got canceled before it can really get going, but it is a really good like show that takes place in the universe of Tron.
Dylan's coworker was talking to him about Uprising,
It's good.
and he watched it. So shout out to Mike. All right, I'll tell Dylan he'll have to watch it because he's interested in Tron now. So you know, we'll have to see if we can fit that into our watch schedule, or if I can't watch it, I'm sure Dylan will eventually watch it. But yeah, I'm happy I finally have a good appreciation for it now. So, like I said, happy I watched it, and makes me really curious to see how Ares is gonna go. Because at first I wasn't gonna see Ares, but now I know how much you love Tron. I'm doing it for you, my guy.
Thank
So,
you.
of course,
Uh,
and for the pod, got to do it for the pod. So
but I'm gonna say still I'll give Tron Legacy like a B plus.
I give it like a B, and just say to acknowledge the first Tron film, I'm giving that film a B minus. But fun. They're fun movies.
But I think that's gonna do it for us. Our next episode will actually be Tron Ares, and I'm really excited for that because it
Yes.
will see either we're gonna be like excited that this is such a good movie, or we're gonna be disappointed because if this movie sucks, I will legitimately cry because this will maybe give Disney to stop milking Star Wars and go back to Tron because that was their big sci-fi franchise
I
before
know.
they
And I
bought
think
Star
it'll
Wars.
do relatively like well opening weekend because
It's
I'm
pro-
sure all the millennials that are like, people our age, Mac, who, saw it and like the cult following fans are going to show up
Well,
right now.
the projections right now, they're saying it should make 44.5 million dollars this opening weekend, because that's the same path that the Legacy was on.
Okay.
So, I mean, looking at the competition for it this weekend, let me just double check what we got coming out the same weekend. So what's coming out now, I think the only thing that's really um competing against is Roofman with Channing Tatum and Kiss of the Spider Woman.
I know Lionsgate wants to do really well with Kiss of the Spider Woman, but knowing if you have Tron, one battle after another is still in theaters, and now we have Good Boy, which I know will probably be expanding into more at this point since it's been like one of the most talked about horror movies,
Mhm.
and it's running good some competition, but I don't see Tron will probably end up being number one. But when it comes to the other movies, I don't know. I do want to see Roofman because I heard so many good things about it.
I'd say when you watch it, look up the real story too, and see how accurate it is. Because I know the real story, and
Okay.
it's really
Mm,
crazy.
wait. I want to know the real story. Let me give it to me real quick before we
It
wrap up.
it pretty much what you see from the trailer. It's the real story. Like actually, like it's kind of one to one.
I thought you were going to say like there was like differences, like if
No,
you know,
no,
like
it
you see
no.
it from the trailer from the.
From the trailer, they actually got one to one of what really happened too.
Yeah, I like the fact that the guy was eating the M&Ms, right? It was the M&Ms. He was eating all the M&Ms in the twist.
M&M's.
Did I say M&M like the
Yes,
rapper?
yes, M&M's. Oh Lord, no, it is pretty. It's true because he was like this guy who would rob all these McDonald's, and apparently, all accounts, he was actually a really nice guy. Like you make sure that like they're all taken care of and everything like that. I'm like, oh, okay, and Another thing too with it is that
I mean, it's a clever story to adapt, so I'm
yeah, and like
excited to see it.
he's a former I think he's a former National Guardsman, or he was in the army, and
Oh dang.
he had all the skills to do it. It was just like this intricate system of what he had when he's living between the walls of Toys R Us, and then he moved over to the Circus City abandoned next door. And it's a really wild story.
Yeah. I just like the Toys R Us
It is pretty funny
aspect.
because that's what he was doing apparently, and it's just I know that I've read the real story, and there's never been pictures of what his hideout looks like. So I kind
Yeah.
of want to see if they took photos of it and they include it in the movie. And I
Eh,
think this is a good role for Channing Tatum to have too, because
oh yeah.
he's really I like him expanding his acting range more, because I think it started with Dog. Dog was his kind of like, oh, okay, he's really like in his actor phase now. He's done a lot of good work lately, and
He's
then
done
he's
some good work. I like Don't Blink was a good movie with him in it.
I
It showed his
agree.
like villain side, so it could earn him maybe a Golden Globe nod from the way it looks.
Well, I mean,
You
it
know,
all
that's
depends
what
on
it's
how
kind of giving.
all depends on how his performance holds up, you know?
Yeah, we'll see that because I know it was just a tiff, so we'll see how it turns out with with everybody. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up real quick. So yeah, Toronto Aries will probably be number one, but I won't be seeing it net opening weekend because I'll be going to Comic-Con.
New
There's
York
the
Comic Con,
Comic-Con.
you are excited. You're gonna see all the new sites and everything and get bottlenecked with all the lines, but it's a good experience though. You get to maybe see some exclusive things before it drops on the internet.
Do you want to know what one exclusive event I'm excited to see?
What is it?
The Running Man panel. I got a reserved spot for it. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
nice. That comes out.
I don't even know. I don't know if I wasn't sure, but I don't know. I was so excited. I didn't care what they were going to show or do. I didn't care if anybody for the movie didn't show up, but I think Edgar Wright and Glenn Powell are going to be there. And I'm just going to be like,
Oh my gosh.
like, oh my God, I love Edgar Wright. So, and I'm just finishing the Running Man, Stephen King book now. So it just comes in perfect timing. So I'm so excited for that panel. Out of all the stuff I'm going to see, this is like the one thing I'm excited for.
Nice. I'm sure you're gonna be doing all the probably a vlog on YouTube and everything like that and your TikTok.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll blog, do some little TikToks because this is my first time. So I really want to go and just enjoy it, because this is like something I've always wanted to do since I was like 15. So 15 years later, just like Tron 15 years later, everybody's getting the new movie. I'm finally getting to go to Comic-Con. So want to enjoy it and just, maybe I'll see some things and I'll capture it. So just make sure you follow me and don't forget to follow Mac because you got to follow. If you follow one, you got to follow the other one. You got to follow me. You got to follow my other brother here. He's my best friend. You got to follow Mac too. So we're a
Yeah.
package deal. We're a package deal, y'all. You know,
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a donation on Patreon. Every little bit helps to keep this podcast journey going. And make sure you tune in for the next episode as we head into Tron Aries. You're excited, and keep up for Kristen. She'll probably post some updates from her trip to Comic Con, and I'm excited to see that. Maybe one day I'll go to Comic Con. That's a distant dream. Maybe when stuff becomes less expensive. But
yeah. But
um,
also one shout out. I want to acknowledge one thing. Sorry, Mac. We did a good job on the episode with Shutter. So thank you to all for the support.
yeah, make sure you go check out that episode and then watch this episode as well too. But I've been Mac, and this has been Kristen, and you've been listening to the M&K Productions Podcast. Peace.
Bye.